you do if you realized your kind elderly neighbor was not actually losing her memory, but was slowly gaslighting you into thinking you were the one losing your mind? I have lived a very quiet life in a small duplex for 3 years. My neighbor, Mrs. Gable, is an 80-year-old widow who I treated like my own grandmother. I did her grocery shopping, checked on her every evening, and always listened to her stories. About 6 months ago, things started getting strange in my own house. I would leave my keys on the counter and find them in the refrigerator. I would lock my front door and wake up to find it standing wide open. I even started finding small items in my trash that I never remembered throwing away. I was terrified that I was developing early onset dementia, and Mrs. Gable was the only one who comforted me, telling me that I was just overworked and that she would keep an eye on me. I felt so vulnerable that I eventually gave Mrs. Gable a spare key to my place so she could check if I had left the stove on. My anxiety reached a breaking point when I found a strange notebook on my nightstand with my own handwriting inside, detailing thoughts I did not remember having. I truly believed I was losing my grip on reality. But last night, I decided to install a tiny hidden camera in my living room, not to catch a thief, but to see if I was sleepwalking. When I checked the footage this morning, my heart did not just stop, it froze. The footage showed Mrs. Gable entering my apartment at 2 a.m. using her spare key. She was not there to check the stove. She spent an hour meticulously moving my belongings. I watched her hide my glasses in the microwave, unlock my front door, and then sit at my desk to carefully mimic my handwriting in the notebook I had found. She was not a confused old lady. She was a calculated predator. But the most horrifying part was what she did right before she left. She walked over to my sleeping body, whispered something in my ear, and then sprayed a faint, sweet-smelling mist into the air, a mild sedative she had been using to keep me from waking up while she toyed with my life. I realized that she did not want a friend, she wanted a companion who was too broken and confused to ever leave her side. She was manufacturing my illness so that I would eventually have to move into her house as a full-time live-in carer. I did not scream, and I did not confront her. I felt a cold, hollow sense of survival. I spent the day calling a private security firm to change my locks and contacted a lawyer to file for a permanent restraining order. I also handed the footage over to the police, who discovered that Mrs. Gable had done this to 2 previous tenants who had mysteriously suffered mental breakdowns before moving in with her. I decided to leave without a word. I packed my life into a van and moved to a city 4 hours away. I left a copy of the security footage playing on a loop on my TV, facing the window so she could see it from her porch. I blocked her number and every concerned neighbor who told me I was being cruel to an old woman. Now, the people in my old neighborhood are calling me a monster. They claim that Mrs. Gable is heartbroken and that her behavior was just a symptom of extreme loneliness. They say that a good person would have helped her get psychiatric help instead of calling the police on an 80-year-old. Even my own mother is saying I'm the asshole for criminalizing an old woman's cry for help and that I have destroyed her reputation in the community. They think I'm the villain for being so litigious and for not having the compassion to realize she just didn't want to be alone. But as I was unpacking in my new home, I found one last thing tucked into my suitcase, a small silver locket that I have never owned. Inside the locket was a photo of me, but it was taken from inside my own closet while I was changing. She had been in my house far more often than I ever realized, and she had been watching me from the shadows of my own home for years. So I have to ask, am I the asshole for reporting my elderly neighbor to the police and moving away after she spent months gaslighting me, or was I just the latest victim in her collection? Let me know in the comments if I'm the hero or the villain, and hit that subscribe button for more daily stories.